I need to tell you guys something, and probably some of you are going to be annoyed with me, and I'm totally okay with that. I have to do what's right for me and my body and my health. I am so tired of tracking points, of tracking carbs, of tracking every single bite that goes into my mouth. I'm tired of food consuming my thoughts. And if my eyes look weird right now, it's because I got them dilated. I just got back from the doctor. Today is actually October 4th, I believe. I made a change, and I made it about a month ago. But I forgot to do this intro thing to tell you guys I was making this change. There is a woman who is on my Facebook group. I'm not going to name her name because of obviously privacy, but she knows who she is, and those who are in my group know who she is. She posted a video of a before and after, and she said for her 50th birthday, she gave herself a present of losing, I want to say 195 pounds. She lives in Italy, and she said, I ate pasta every single day. She said she ate the Mediterranean style of eating, and it took her 3 years to do it, but she lost all the weight. It intrigued me so much, and I had literally just started carb cycling. Also, there is a woman who is a friend of mine. We haven't actually met in person, but we're friends online. She and I took a YouTube kind of class at the same time because she has a YouTube channel, and her YouTube channel is Neily on nutrition. So she and I started chatting and just commiserating together, and she's been part of my Facebook group for a while. She offered to me a while ago and to work with her as a dietitian, and I actually told her no before because I'm just not one to do that kind of thing. Fast forward, I read this post by this woman, and I thought, okay, something has to change because I do not want to do this anymore. I don't want to track everything. I'm done. And I do not want to do all this work to have to do it again. I've already done it a few times. I've never actually lost all my weight. I've lost a good amount of it. I've lost 50 pounds twice. And then I've gained back the 50 pounds completely once. And as you guys know, I've gained back some of my 50 pounds, and I'm trying to get back to what I was and then lose more. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to have to worry about losing weight again. I know I'm going to always have to watch what I eat and be mindful of what I'm eating for the rest of my life to maintain any weight loss. But I don't want to actually have to lose a substantial amount of weight once I've done it. Neily has this tagline. Her philosophy on weight loss is the best diet is the diet you don't know you're on. So I contacted Neily and said, would you be willing to go on my channel with me, and we will record some of our conversations, and you help me live a different life that is mindfully eating, that is eating a more whole food, Mediterranean-ish kind of eating. And would you coach me through this? We've had 3 calls. So the next part of this video is going to be going back in time to when I first started eating this way and our conversations. I will link all of Neily's information below. I am hoping that mindfully eating and eating a whole food Mediterranean style of eating is the answer to long-term weight loss and maintenance. So here we go. I feel like today is day 1 and I want to do the right thing, but I don't know if I have the right things. I went grocery shopping last night, but I clearly did not think through everything. So I have some research to do because I need to come up with breakfast. Now, avocado toast would be an excellent idea, but my avocado is greener than green right now and hard as a rock. We have this peanut butter. I don't know where we got it. The ingredients are in a different language. Where did I get this? But it says only peanuts, nothing else. So it can't be that bad if it's only peanuts. It also might taste horrible. We'll see. I thought I would do toast with this peanut butter and some almonds and chia seeds on it, and maybe a drizzle of honey. I don't know. Am I allowed honey on Mediterranean? I don't know. I have to figure this out. It's pretty good. Oh, maybe not. It's very clumpy still. I know I don't want a lot of peanut butter. I am not a huge peanut butter fan. I don't know. It's just not my thing. That's probably equals out to about 2 teaspoons. I'm one of those people that you have to cover the whole thing. Are you team plop it and it'll be okay? Or are you team spread it so that every inch is covered? Please weigh in below. No pun intended. Chia seeds. I'm just gonna, oh boy. Okay, a couple almonds. I don't know, are almonds Mediterranean? I think so. Sprinkle it, not sprinkle it. You know what I mean. It looks good, but does it taste good? All right, so here it is. A little dry. It needs something. It needs sugar. The very thing I shouldn't be doing. Okay, I wouldn't say I'm like, yippee, can't wait to eat this every morning. All right, I'm gonna do a tiny bit of honey. I put it in a spoon so that I don't overdo it, because I could easily do that. And I don't even know if I'll use all of this. Like even just half. Okay, that's all I want. Okay, that's better. And I did like half a teaspoon for the entire, like both pieces. So I don't consider that a bad, okay, maybe it was, I don't know. I really needed to measure it. Okay, next time I'll measure it.
Your breakfast experience. I wanted to touch upon this word that you use. I don't know if you noticed it, but it jumped out at me so quickly. And that was, you wanted some honey.
Yeah.
And what did you say? Is this allowed? No foods are off limits. Really.
Okay.
I remember back in the day in Weight Watchers when I was on it, like decades ago, is this legal? I mean, I don't know that terminology. You can have anything you want. So giving yourself permission. You want some honey to sweeten it up? Put some honey on there. Don't dump the whole jar on there, but
the thought process having nothing is off limits as long as it's in moderation. Is that the whole thought process?
When you start to really become in tune with how you're feeling about certain foods, let's just say that you put a lot of honey on there. And then you're like, oh man, that was just too sweet. Is there anything wrong with that? No, because what you did is you learned from that. It's like, okay, I don't need that much. So it's kind of assessing what you want and what's going to satisfy you.
There's got to be a limit, though. I mean, there's got to be some parameters. I mean, what if everything I like was Fruit Loops? There's got to be some parameters of things that you probably should steer clear of, or how am I ever going to lose weight?
Well, that's something else too. And I know we've talked about this. I know you want to, but if that is the end all and be all, it's going to be more challenging really to get to that comfortable relationship with food.
I'm trying to make a dinner. I'm going to use whitefish. I think it's cod. I don't know. I'm gonna make like just a breading. I kind of don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a very good cook. Like I just don't like it, but I'm trying. We'll see how it goes. I made this, it was gross. So I didn't make it the whole way. What I want to make is something like it's called aglio oglio, which is basically olive oil and some seasoning, and it's very basic pasta, but this was really gross. So we're redoing it and doing a normal penne. And I'm gonna look and see if I can find some whole wheat that I might like. Otherwise, I'm just gonna do regular pasta. In almost everything you read about the Mediterranean diet, it says to do something active with the people you love and to also be present when you are eating. So not mindlessly eating, but purposely eating. So Doug and I are going to go just for a short ride. We're not going to do anything major. We're just going to ride around our neighborhood. I'd much rather do that than a walk any day. So yesterday was my call with Neily. It is 11:30 and I'm starting to feel hungry, although I am drinking more water. That's something I know I need to do more of. And I think I'm going to go ahead and grill some cauliflower because I'm not hungry yet, but I know I am starting to get that way. And then I have leftovers from last night's dinner, so it's easy, a go-to thing to eat, plus a fresh, yummy vegetable. Trying to be more present, because that's part of the whole Mediterranean lifestyle, is to be more mindful, which is appropriate for this channel, of what you are doing. And I was sitting up in my bedroom, which is my office as well, editing a video. And it is a gorgeous day out here. Like, look at this sky. Just look at that. Is it not gorgeous? And I said, I need to be outside. Bobby, get outside, is what I said to myself. I am enjoying this. I think that it's good while we can. Soon I'm not going to be able to sit outside and I'm going to be like, oh, I wish I could sit outside. But then if I don't do it when I'm here, do you know what I'm saying?
You try to help people, me, get in a good relationship with food more, but not really what the food is.
I am struggling with trying to figure out what to make for dinners. Like, I can deal with lunches. Breakfast is okay, but dinners where we all will like it is a struggle for me. I've gone on Pinterest. I found a couple things to make. One was a granola recipe, because on Mediterranean, they will eat yogurt, they will eat granola, but it would need to be a granola I would make because they don't like processed. So I don't want to buy one that's processed. So I'm going to try that. I got to get the ingredients for it. I'll show it on here, see if I like it. But I am still struggling on what to do for dinners. A couple of my recipes, well, okay, first off, they say that you should have less meat. You don't have to eat meat with every meal. Well, that's what we do. And so I'm like, okay, if we don't eat meat with every meal, then I'm not sure what to make. I don't like beans very much, and neither does my family. I don't like chickpeas. Why am I doing Mediterranean? What am I gonna do for dinner? Well, tonight I know what I'm doing. I am going to make my lemon chicken. So I've already done a recipe. Oh, the chicken is dripping gross. Ow! Okay, so I've already done this recipe for a video before. So I'm not gonna show you guys the whole recipe, but it's very much chicken heavy. This is what I think I'm gonna do. I'm going to make smaller portions of the chicken and higher portions of the brown rice that you put it on. That seems so opposite of what I normally do, because I normally think a lot of chicken, a lot of protein, and very low carbs. So this is just such a paradigm shift. And then eating mindfully. So waiting till you're completely hungry. And whew, that one's a hard one sometimes, because that means I'm not mindlessly eating. So you really do mindfully eat. That's so important that you really think through, am I hungry? Just because it's like right now it's 10 of 12 and my mind is saying, eat, it's lunchtime. but my belly is not hungry yet because I had breakfast a little bit late. So I am going to cook this chicken first, and then I'm going to see if I am really hungry for lunch. But I also need to be careful on not eating so much lunch that I'm not hungry for dinner, because I want to eat with my family. So again, it's mindfully eating, not just going, well, here's my portion, I'm going to now eat it. But thinking, okay, well, when are we going to eat dinner? And I'm going to want to eat this chicken with my family. And it's just so much to think about, yet it's not a lot to think about. It's actually pretty easy if you think about it.
Now, I have a hunger and fullness scale in that hunger and fullness handout. And my scale, I like a 3 is like you have that little twinge in the belly. Sounds like that's how you felt this morning, and which is like the ideal time. So kind of knowing ahead of time what you're going to be having can help. When you have that, 20 to 30 grams of protein with that morning meal, then you start, this sustains me through to lunchtime.
I am now hungry. So for lunch, I'm going to have some leftover roasted cauliflower first. And this is a good amount. Doug last night he made chicken parmesan. Now, normally chicken parmesan would not be something that I think I can have on a diet. But the thought is nothing is off the table, so to speak, as long as I'm hungry and I'm mindfully eating and I am hungry and thinking about my plate, whereas I'm having my vegetable first, so that's about to ring in about 15 seconds, and then this. But I don't have to eat it all. But can I stop? I'm going to eat the cauliflower first. My favorite is when it's crispy like that, or burnt. I know I'm weird. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that there's something that I eat burned, that I love burnt, that most people think is gross burnt. So if you know what that is, comment below. I have more to eat of my chicken parm, but I know I'm full. Part of this whole process is stopping when I am satisfied, and I am satisfied. And it's very hard for me to stop eating right now. So I'm gonna go now throw it away.
When she made pumpkin bread last night with chocolate chips in it, I'm like, really, Rach? And I'm not hungry at all.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do in that situation when I'm not hungry at all?
When you give yourself permission to have something, then savoring the flavor of it, and because you're not restricting it,
right,
then it can be enjoyable, and you're not going to eat the whole thing.
Or am I? I mean, it's the whole adage of losing weight is in your brain. It's not really the food as much. It's very much in your head.
It is.
Give me just a thin slice and be okay with it, and not say, oh, I've ruined my diet because I've had a thin slice of pumpkin bread.
And that's the thing. That's the kind of vocabulary. You didn't ruin anything.
Right.
You had it. Okay. Did you enjoy it? Yeah, it's pretty good. Move on. It's over and done with. Move on. There is your mindset kind of, okay, I'm eating within this. I'm being good. And if I eat outside of that, I'm being bad. Because this is a very new approach for you, it's going to take a bit of time. And if you're 80 to 90% of the time, you're eating what nourishes you, what really makes you feel good, 10 to 20% of the time, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And you can enjoy life and enjoy food.
Mediterranean is going really well so far. Not even just the Mediterranean, but also just the whole thinking and mindful eating, and also giving myself the freedom to just say, I would like to eat that right now. but not going off the rails. Like, I don't really have this huge desire to just go eat crazily. And I have allowed myself the freedom to eat pretty much what I want to a point. I think I need to up my vegetables because I realized even at lunch, like lunch today, I had leftover. I made salmon last night. I made this recipe called Tuscan salmon. It was kind of a disappointment, I will say, but it was okay. And we had it over rice. So I had that left over for lunch today. And then I was like, oh, okay, I'm done. But I realized I had not had a vegetable. I mean, there was a little bit of spinach in this recipe that I had, but not anything to be really proud of myself for. So that's something I do need to improve.
Maybe this will help. Think of a plate and divide up your plate into 4 parts. A quarter of it would be your tilapia, your protein.
My protein, okay.
A quarter of it would be your
Like
starchy pasta, rice. And then the other half of it, what would that be?
Veggies. And so it's more about how much of all that, not actually it itself. Focus on the real food. If it's vegetables, I can go ahead and can I put butter on the vegetables?
You can have some butter.
And then I guess assess, do I feel okay? Like, do I feel satiated? Am I okay? And then that's where the hard part is, where you have to stop yourself from not eating the more.
Okay, so I just got done filming. It's 12 o'clock. I think it's like 10 after 12. And my first thought was, oh, it's lunchtime. I'm going to go eat. But I ate breakfast late. So I'm actually thinking to myself, I don't need to eat right now. I can eat a little bit later because I'm not really that hungry right now. So I am going to delay it until I actually feel hungry. I think that I'm proud of myself. You know, when you're like, oh, good job, Bob, good job. That's how I'm feeling right now. If you guys were here, you'd all give me high fives. Then I'm wondering, okay, but when will I get hungry? Like, what if it gets to be like 3 o'clock and I'm not hungry, but then at 3 o'clock I'm hungry, but we're going to eat dinner? Then I guess maybe I could eat something small. I don't know. I guess I'll figure that out when I get to that point.
When we talk next week, what do you want to be telling me?
I would like to be able to say that I regularly was able to assess whether I really was hungry before I ate. Like, I think I want to really focus. Like, for me, I know me, I have a hard time saying I'm going to focus on everything. I want to assess if I'm hungry, and then I'm going to assess when I'm full, and then I'm going to, like I can't do it all.
No.
I have to focus on one thing, and, like, let's get into the habit of doing that. And then, okay, now let's talk about how I stop eating.
It's like if you try to change everything all at once, I mean, it may work for a few days or a week, but it's just too much. It's just overload.
We have about a half hour more of light, so we're going to go for a neighborhood bike ride. Yay!